Now, some people are an absolute wizard with carburetors, fine-tuning the balance of the fuel and the air mixture, etc., and synchronise them and whatnot. But today I learned a little bit of lesson. I've had the bike running. Let me show you what's been going on today. Summertime now, okay, so it's important to get some good coolant in. Now this bike, I don't know if you remember when I started this bike a few months ago, it had some coolant leak issues, so I think now we've fixed that, so we're going to get this topped up with some coolant before trying to get it started today. So let's have a look. So you can see here from the video the top pipes, there's two at the top. Now one of them is an overflow when it's boiling over, so that's got a small kind of spring clip. I'm not too bothered if that comes off because it's just an overflow, but the one beneath it is part of the circular system, so that's had a new clip. I think it was a leak in there previously. The other hoses down the bottom here, the old clips were terrible condition, so they've all been replaced. This one right at the bottom just there. But anyway, let's get 3 litres of coolant in this baby. So the coolant reservoir is on the near side of the bike, so we're going to stick a little bit in there as well before we finish topping it off.
A bit of plaster.
Okay, so we've topped up the coolant. So far, apart from the bit I've spilt all over the floor, overflowing, I mean it's not under pressure any moment, it's just topped up and filled, so when we get it started, hopefully today, fingers crossed, we'll see if there is any water coolant leaks. The other job I need to do previous to that, I need to turn this fuel pump around and mount it the right way. I did that the other week and that's upside down. The carbs have been, they're all hooked up to the throttle cables now. They're mounted on the inlets, they need tightening up around all 4 of the rubber seals. And then I think we're going to start connecting the top of the airbox. And I guess we could put the air filter in, it doesn't really make any difference when you start it, but I just want to get it started today. I just want to hear it running, and the main objective is to see that we have no coolant issues really. I want to make sure that the pump is all pumping, obviously, etc. it does, and I want to make sure that the fan kicks in when it reaches the temperature and there's no leaks, and I want to hear this bad boy, this Yoshimura. So that's today's job, and hopefully, fingers up, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's good. Welcome. So a few months ago, it was actually, I've just looked on my history, January 31st was when I started this bike and published a video, you know, hearing it burst into life for the first time. Now it's today's date, 22nd of June 2023. It's been a long way since then. The engine has come out of the frame, it's been dropped, it's been replaced with a new frame. It's had a new swing arm, new front forks. This frame has obviously all been resprayed. Everything's gone back together, I think in all the right order. I'm gonna pop some fuel in it now and attempt to start this for the first time. So there's my external fuel tank. I've got a brand new battery, so I'm just going to connect that, and then fingers crossed it all goes well. Here we go, let's bang it on, let's do it, let's get this in the mount. Gits, these are gits, aren't they? Gits, awkward little things. You think now after all these years of manufacturing batteries you have a better system. Actually the lithium ion batteries do have a better system. It's kind of pre-welded in. Batteries fitted. See, the level of the fuel is dropped quite a lot there, so the pump's hopefully working, pushing it through. Okay, what's happened there is, I think again, the idle adjuster is way out. Let me just have a little fiddle. Right, that's enough for now. I've got to fiddle around with these carbs. That's revving so hard. I can only think it's the idle adjuster, but I need to look into it. Anyway, that's enough for now. I will follow up in a minute. I'm just going to cool down and then update this. Right, I've had a half hour now since starting it up, and it's high revving. It's really high. So I had a cup of coffee and I've done a bit of investigative work. So I'll tell you what I've done in the last 30 minutes, and I've just run out of petrol now, but where the carbs mount on top of the part of the downpipes which go in, feed into the engine, I think I'd tightened them up way too tight, and it was putting pressure maybe on the throttle bodies or something, whichever part. But as I've just cracked them all off, it's just kind of sitting there really loose now, and I started up and it kind of, the revs are much lower, so I think that was a problem, because I googled and it said about sticky throttle. I'm sure it's definitely not throttle cables. They seem to be really good. I fitted them last week and I'm sure they're good, but yeah, it's the positioning of the carbs on the top of the engine, so that's good. I'm gonna take a breather. That was some hard work, all that energy going on in the bike in this garage. You've got to be warm, so that's where I think the problem lies with that. So more tinkering. I do like tinkering with carbs. It's good to get your head around and understand it. It's an art, I guess. I just want to get it ticking over nice with this Yoshi. It's either not running or it's kind of running like a million miles an hour. It's getting warm. So anyway, thank you for watching. This is a quick vid. Next time should be standing outside looking really nice, I promise you. noticed coolant leaking, but that's only over the overflow. I think if I documented earlier, I chucked in coolant. I think I just whacked up the overflow bottle too high. So I'm hoping that's the only problem. Engine wise, well, it's running. I need to work on these carbs, getting the adjustments all correct. Excuse me. Looks stupid. Hold on. There we go. With the carburettors earlier, the bike was revving so hard, and I believe now it's down to the mounting the boots where the carbs sit on top. They were mounted or tightened up far too tight, causing it to rev really high. I don't know why that is. Maybe it just pinches the throttle body, you know, and keeps the butterflies open. I'm not sure, but I cracked them all off and loosened them. Tip an old friend of mine called Laszlo told me to do, so you should listen to Uncle Laz a little bit more. So that's what I've done. It now revs much lower, as it should. I need to get the idle set correctly. The carbs need balancing, and maybe each individual fuel air mixture needs playing with to get it running right. Air filter all needs to go on the air box and stuff, but anyway, it's running, and the exhaust sounds okay, just okay. That's progress. So thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.